If you don't know Patrick Stoner, the quick summary is he's the PBS movie guy. But that ignores the things that got him there. Syndicated nationwide and part of a hard-to-crack circle of film critics. Patrick is an innovator, an educator, adaptable, shrewd, and quietly much more humble and appreciative of his career than his persona might lead you to believe. He fell in love with the art of filmmaking at a young age. As a child, watching all 3 showings of each movie that came through the theater across the street from his aunt's house in Woodstock, Virginia, he learned that movies can touch you in a way that lasts your whole life. Gregory Peck's performance in To Kill a Mockingbird in particular stuck with him, not just as an actor, but the character Atticus Finch was a model for the kind of man he wanted to be. Patrick was a pre-ministerial student before going on to study drama and speech, though he can certainly still give a great sermon. He did his time as a struggling actor in New York before becoming a teacher and theater manager at the University of Delaware. He also volunteered to start doing local theater reviews for WHYY during that time, and loved it. He taught part-time as his involvement with WHYY expanded. In the mid-'80s, he began contacting movie studios about conducting film craft interviews. He eventually collected a few, despite studios initially laughing at the idea of PBS being there, and he began producing and hosting Flicks as a syndicated series in 1986. Through Flicks and his Best Bets series, Quick Picks, Patrick encourages viewers to appreciate films because art has value.
I love whenever you start speaking, I'm going, where's he going? You never know. You keep it, it's like a poker game. I'm not going to tell you where I'm taking.
As an educator, he challenges students to consider what they would do with their lives if money were not an object. He encourages people to find meaning, above all else, to let what they're passionate about drive who they become. Patrick's a bit of an authority in that area. We congratulate Patrick Stoner on his induction into the Broadcast Pioneers Hall of Fame. Here's to many more years of wit and wisdom.
This will be brief. I'm really, first, thank you very much for this honor. I mean, last year I was 69, in March I turned 70, and there comes a time in your life, you know, when you say to yourself, have I really contributed anything on my time here on earth? Because you start to think, mostly I've done things that I just wanted to do. Have I contributed anything? And then, to my surprise, in July, I get the call from Jerry, and this happens. And you say, well, it may not be right, but boy, that feels good. So I'm very proud, and I thank you very much. I'm also glad that tonight, the people who aren't on air are also part of this. Pat and all the rest of you, you know that those of us who are on air, we get stroked more than we deserve. People are so nice to us wherever we go. They say nice things. Maybe they don't even believe it, I don't know. They just are really always nice. But the people who work with us, the editors, the engineers, the producers, they're the ones who do most of the work. We just have the fun. And they don't get recognized. Tonight, they have been, and I'm honored to share the stage with them. Now, of course, I got to do some obligatory thanks, right? My wife, Joyce, my daughters, Catherine and Eliza, and my grandson, David, and my son-in-law, Nick. Thanks for your patience and what have you. I'd also like to thank very much Ed Cunningham. Do you know him from WHY? Ed Cunningham. I'd like to thank Ed Cunningham for all of his contributions to what got me this award tonight, but he didn't really make any, so I can't. And I'm sorry, Ed, I would have if I could have. I really wanted to do that, but that would have been dishonest, and I'm a critic, so I really couldn't. Very briefly, this is what I tried to accomplish. I know you probably see me mostly doing the on-air fundraisers, and I believe in it, so that's what I should do, in the same way that I've always thought of myself as when I gave up being a minister, because believe me, I would have been a terrible minister. Not me. But I sort of have been a secular minister for public television, and I guess that's good. But here's what I wanted to do with the work I do with film. Wouldn't it be good if just someplace on the air, somebody was talking to all of these people creating the most popular art in the world? And that's what film is. It's the most popular art form in the world when it rises to its best. If somebody just talked to them about the film craft, rather than their stardom, their celebrity, and the scandals that are going on. So that's what I've tried to do in my little things over the years, bit by bit, a little more film cred. I may or may not have succeeded in that. But I would like to thank especially WHYY for allowing me to do it all these years. And of course, as I begin, my editor, Joanne Calamecca, who Jerry tells me is going to be invited to join us in January, and in the old days, Don Francisco. But mostly, I want to thank you for letting me feel like now at age 70, maybe I have contributed something.